mission changed my life and ruined everyone else's. Empire City is overrun with criminals and lunatics, cut off from the world by a government quarantine. Everyone thinks I have the power to fix it, but I don't know if I can, or if I even want to.
Rated T for teen.
PlayStation.
The late 2010s, the time of edgelords in gaming. Anyway, good evening folks, hope you had a good work week, and tonight we are playing InFamous. This game was released in 2008 and was created by Sucker Punch Productions. Sucker Punch at the time was primarily known for the Sly Cooper trilogy, a fantastic series of platformers on the PlayStation 2. But when it was time for the PlayStation 3 to be rolled out, they wanted to do something different. Sly Cooper was known for its unique combination of stealth and platforming. So it was a bit quieter, more reserved than what Sucker Punch liked. So for their next game, they wanted to do something more explosive and bombastic. And what they eventually settled on was a superhero game. And rather than just, find a comic book character to make a video game based on, they of course decided to do something original and take inspiration from some more obscure comic books like DMZ and what have you. The game was released in 2008 and it was perfect timing too, because Sony was starting to pull themselves out of a rut with the PlayStation 3 when the thing initially launched. Despite it having some damn impressive hardware for the time, it just could not keep up with the 360 and especially the Wii due to how insanely expensive it was. So the first thing they did was, make a cheaper model console to bring the price down, but they also went all in on games. So they had all of their second-party developers making exclusives for the console. And because of that, when InFamous came out, it found an audience right away. It was actually one of the first games I picked up for the system, and it would also become it was one of the iconic games for the PlayStation 3, especially after 2011, when Sony had their infamous PSN outage. They started giving away the game for free as an apology to everyone who suffered because of that. So InFamous did very well. It would get a sequel on PS3 and another sequel on PS4, but after that, the series just kind of stopped for whatever reason. I mean, Second Son wasn't very good, but it still had potential. But I guess Sucker Punch is ready for something else because they went to work on Ghost of Tsushima next, which is excellent, by the way. But at the very least, they could have released like a remaster of the game for the console. It just baffles the mind that they fixate so much on The Last of Us or Uncharted these days and don't give games like InFamous and Resistance any attention anymore. Which is part of why I wanted to showcase the game on the stream. I've actually been wanting to play this game for you guys for a while now, but every time I think I'm close to making time to play it, something comes out with a game that I could play to sort of bank on that, appease the YouTube algorithm. But there's nothing this weekend. I'm going to play InFamous, and I'm going to have a good time. I hope you guys enjoy. If you're new to my channel, first of all, welcome. How things work around here is I pick a game, and I play it for an hour, and basically just talk about all the design aspects of the game from both artistic and game design. I do not play games from start to finish, and that's primarily because I want to encourage people to actually play the games themselves. I don't want people to just come to this channel to watch me play games. I feel if you aren't playing the game yourself, you're sort of missing a big part of the experience, though no disrespect to anyone who chooses to consume video games in that manner. As for how I'm going to be playing this game, like I said, InFamous has never been re-released before, so I have no choice but to play this on the PlayStation 3, though I have no issue with that because I've had my copy of this game since I got the darn thing. So do a quick sound check before we start. My voice is coming through. Let's go ahead and play. And I really hope my capture software doesn't crap out on me. Sweet. There's a marker quality. And it's very clear from the get-go that Sucker Punch is just going all in on the style here. The graphic design on the title is okay. It's very readable, but it's also very generic. Not a very interesting title screen at a glance. However, what's about to happen here is like one of the best pieces of video game storytelling I have ever seen. Watch what happens when I push the start button. You trying to act like I've never seen this before. How many times have I played this game? Well, that escalated fast.
Activation plus 6 minutes. Pulse is 45. Respiration 10. Looking good, Cole.
I'll be sure to turn on the subtitles when I can, guys. Okay, so why was that such an interesting piece of video game storytelling? Well, essentially what just happened there, a bomb went off, and you're standing in the middle of ground zero. So essentially what happened was you kind of set off the bomb yourself, which is a little messed up. But you're waking up in the crater just as Cole is right here. So it's right away putting you in the shoes of the character, which is really cool. As Cole said, we gotta get moving. Movement's a little stiff right now, but after all, Cole is limping right here. He doesn't move as fluidly as he does later on.
Come on, man, pick up!
Zeke, what the hell's going on? I think there was an explosion.
No shit, there was
Still pretty agile despite his limp, though.
Meet me at the Fremont Bridge. We'll get Trish and find some place to hunker down.
What the hell? Should be dead.
And that's certainly unusual, so something very weird is going on here.
Oh man.
Something very bad is going on here. Hopping across that feels really good. We'll talk more about movement later on. When Cole, isn't struggling to walk this way.
What's happening to me?
Clearly you've gained superpowers, Cole, if you've never read a comic book before.
If you're able to walk, please evacuate across the bridge to the Neon. Remain calm. Emergency personnel are en route. Cole! Over here, man! We gotta go!
sliding effects are cool.
It's the terrorists! Move to the bridge, Cole!
Okay, how do you figure that's terrorists, Zeke? It's lightning from the sky.
Move your ass, Cole! This whole bridge is coming down!
Well, that was certainly something.
While sliding into unconsciousness, I could somehow, I don't know, hear the voices of the dying.
As a comic book artist, I love these cutscenes. It's inspired primarily by the DMZ comics. And like, I love how gritty it is, but also how colorful it is too. It's a perfect example of how you can make something dark, gritty, and sinister, while also making it visually appealing as well.
Civilization committing suicide. In a bullshit attempt to contain the biological threat, the federal government locked down all access in and out of the city. Now we're stuck in this cage with the psychos. Cops are all but gone off the streets, either dead or too chicken shit to stand against the gangs that control things now. Outside, things were bad. But inside me, something was beginning. Scary as hell at first. Gotta understand, there was no one to talk to, no experts to consult. But with time, I'm learning to control it, master it. Just hope it's not too late.
I remember when I first played this back in the day, just saying to myself, I am into this, dude. Like, the whole quarantine aspect of it, the police being gone. I mean, it's just the perfect playground to, you know, live out your fantasy of being a superhero. It's fantastic. I always talk about the importance of a narrative hook, and this is a great narrative hook.
I thought you were gonna watch TV.
Batteries are dead again.
What's he reading?
Mind putting on a freak show?
Sure. Glad it's good for something.
Probably need to charge them all. TV's a hog.
It's also really good at explaining the gameplay. So your primary attack for the game is going to be a lightning bolt, and how you do it is you hold the L1 button and then you fire with the right button. So just like you would in a third-person shooter. Now, that's probably scaring a lot of people right away, but trust me, InFamous does not become your standard third-person shooter at all. It's its own unique beast for sure.
Good job, man. Boob tubes are working.
Weird. It feels like I got more power.
Yeah? But try frying those dummies over there. With all the nutballs running around, it'd be nice to see how much juice you're packing. Yeah! Lay into it, man. Fry those suckers. Yeah!
Aiming feels smooth, movement feels good, and one of the things I've always liked about the controls in InFamous is, like, the controls are one thing when you're not holding the L button, but they can change completely when you hold down the button, which is really smart design.
Whoa! You see that? Flying so low, thought it was gonna crash into us. Hey, it's a TV jacker. I love this guy.
Just got word that the feds dropped some relief packages into Archer Square. The liars running the corporate media tell us that we're gonna get our fair share. That more is coming. That's easy for them to say. Relief packages into Archer Square. And the truth is that we've been abandoned, and no one's coming to save us. So head over to Archer Square and get.
Alright, I said I was going to turn the subtitles on. Let's see here.
That food before the Reapers show up. Voice of survival out.
Told you they drop food.
Man, you must be out of your mind. You think any of those pencil necks gives a crap about us? This is a PR stunt.
That isn't gonna stop you from pigging out, though, is it?
Hell no, it ain't. Zeke's gotta eat.
You take the stairs. I'm using the express elevator.
Man, we get to have all the fun.
So now what are we gonna do? We're gonna jump off a building. Because why on earth would anyone do that? So you can do a sick superhero landing, that's why.
Whew! Oh, that was one hell of a jump, man. Wish I could do something like that. Running down all those stairs. That sucks donkey balls. Hey, Cole, before we head over to Archer, I need to go pick up a new six-shooter.
And like this whole sequence right here is just a beautiful introduction to the world that InFamous takes place in. Like you just see the entire place falling apart. You hear Cole and Zeke talking about his powers, and it all happens within gameplay. Like no cutscene required. It's just great.
The ones that explode when you use them?
Hell, he doesn't know that. Come on. Told me he was gonna leave the gun in the parking lot a few blocks from here. Hey, Cole, you know what I miss? Pizza. Big sloppy slice, dripping with grease and pepperoni, and payday.
Does sound really good.
Bills in your pocket.
Yeah, I'd settle for some hot water.
Hey, remember that time we were coming home from Duffy's?
It's funny he says that. Cole actually can't take a shower anymore. Water hurts him.
You pissed all over him.
Hey, he told me to put up my hands. While he's fumbling around, I jump back in and we take off. Awesome.
Yeah, awesome. Until we run into a wall of cops.
Like I said, awesome. Bummer we won't be able to do anything like that again.
Yeah, not unless some genius invents a car that doesn't explode when I sit in it.
Also, justifying why Cole never uses guns or a car in the game. The cars explode when he sits with them because the electricity cooks off the gasoline, and he can't hold guns because they explode in his hand. So I was talking earlier about how the controls change the button inputs when you hold the L1 button. So if you're not holding the button, hitting X just causes you to jump. But if you're holding the button, push the button while holding L1. That's what that does. Like, all the different powers you get throughout InFamous, they're all spread across the control in that way, which is great because it means you're never having to stop the game to use a weapons wheel or something like you would in something like Prototype or even InFamous 2. It's just it's complex controls, but not to the point where it's not hard to understand.
Did you see that?
Man, you're a walking battery. You must have to recharge whenever you fire off a bunch of juice.
I can feel the electricity surging through me. Almost like I'm being healed by it.
Oh, this rocks so hard. Come on, let's haul tail over to Archer Square before someone takes all the brewskis.
Is this really a time to be going for beer, dude?
You hear they dropped some food?
Yeah, Zeke and me are heading over there.
How are you feeling?
All right, I guess. Powers are all over the place. Used to be I could barely power a light bulb. Now I'm jumping off of buildings, frying the junk on Zeke's roof.
You jumped off a building. What were you thinking?
Relax. I'm fine.
Just take it easy. After what happened to Amy, I couldn't.
Yeah,
See you guys at Archer Square. I love you.
you too.
Man, I really hate seeing all these people lying around like that. You actually do gain the power to heal people later on, but you can't do that right now, so you're just kind of having to pass them by, which, you know, annoys me. I want to help them.
Whew. Boy, it's stuck up there. I hate to say it, pal, but hey, you're the only guy here who'd live from a fall like that. You gotta climb up there and knock that stuff free.
Well, the least I can do is get these people some food. So, this is the introduction to traversal. So, how it works is, Cole is magnetic in a sense. So when you jump, he naturally gravitates towards anything he can climb on like this. Now, it's reliable, but it can be a bit finicky at times. It's not uncommon to like jump off a building and get hung up on something because you hug the wall too close, or try to move out of the way of oncoming fire, jump, and then get caught up on something and get killed because of that. It is one of the problems with InFamous, but it's not game breaking or anything. It's just something you gotta, be aware of. But yeah, jumping and movement just feels really great, which is good because that's such a big component of the game.
Yeah, we are eating.
I really hope there's no one standing underneath that. I should have checked first.
Damn. Too late.
That's when I caught my first sight. The Reapers.
Too late.
Before the blast, they were just a bunch of junkies dealing drugs. Now, they own the Neon District.
Man, those cutscenes are cool.
That changes today.
Alright, so now we got degens to deal with. Alright guys, you can walk I was going to give you a chance to walk away, but now, Gongola!
Dang, those freaks are brutal.
Hey, wattage, DJ. Aw, crap. Why'd you walk in front of me, dude? Sorry.
Well, there's more on the way.
Yeah, the civilian AI can be a little brain dead at times. You'd think they'd be headed for the hills right now. I mean, you got gang members shooting at someone who's, shooting lightning out of their hands. Who wouldn't run from that?
A lot of food here. Enough to feed the three of us for weeks. Maybe longer. But if I fry a couple people in the crowd, the rest will run away. The food will be all ours. But some of these guys might starve.
So this is the first chromatic moment, which is basically the game's morality system. I have a problem with this, but we're not going to talk about that until later. But I'm going to let these people have the food because we're in quarantine. This isn't a time to be hoarding food to ourselves. Everyone's got to get through it. Something I feel like people in reality need to learn. I remember when the pandemic started, how hard it was just to find toilet paper. I mean, come on, guys.
Hey, Trish.
Oh, I'm so glad you got the food down. These poor people are starving.
Just doing what I can. Someone had to help them.
Those idiots dropped us canned prunes. Now who the hell want to eat this crap?
Come on, dude.
Take a look at this, Empire City. The footage you're seeing was taken by a security camera near
Hey,
Ground
Cole!
Zero.
You're up on the big screen.
Our city, our lives. Someone from your family died? Well, now you know who to blame. If you know anything about this guy, let me know. Because we gotta get the word out on this terrorist. Whoever he is, we're gonna make him pay.
Ever been called a terrorist?
Once, actually.
From that day,
After
I've been running for my life.
January 6th, a lot of people took issue with this.
How'd I get that?
I'm not associated with those people, by the way, and if you took part in that, you belong in jail. That means you, Trump.
The consequences are everywhere. Whatever there'd been between Trish and me was gone. She didn't say a word, no emotion, nothing, just walked away. By then, people nearby were starting to recognize me. It was gonna get ugly. Even Zeke was giving me weird looks. He and I made quick plans to meet up at Stampton Bridge. Try to get out of town. Just hope he shows. Because right now, I'm a little short on friends.
Well, everyone hates my guts now, so I gotta head for the hills. Yeah, turn up the hard. I've been in it on hard before. Okay, so when it comes to open world games, one of the most important aspects for me is actually getting around the map.
Damn it! I gave you the food. Leave
And
me alone.
InFamous, for the most part, is really good about that. Well, it does get better. Initially, it is a little clunky. It takes some time to climb buildings and crossing large gaps like this, for example. You have to slowly walk across the wires like this. But over the course of the game, you'll gain the ability to glide as well as ride along these rails, power lines, like a skater grinding on a rail, which really beefs up the pace of the game, and suddenly traversal becomes a lot of fun. So yeah, it's a lot better than, you know, just mindlessly driving around in Far Cry or using fast travel. Which I'm not even sure InFamous has. Does InFamous have a fast travel system? I can't remember. Of course, you got Reapers around causing trouble. Yeah, that shockwave attack is something you really gotta experiment with because it can reflect certain attacks and throw objects at enemies too, so you want to be sure you get used to using that in combat. The enemies out and about can be really annoying too. Later on in the game, they start giving you side missions to do, which you want to really do. Because if you complete a side mission, that clears out the enemy presence and also cleans up the area too. You know, clean up the town, I guess you could say. Like the song in the first Ghostbusters movie. Excuse me.
Large-scale relief efforts across Empire City continued as FEMA delivered several tons of...
Yeah, and as you play the game, you'll come across TVs, and usually you'll get like a news report like this, or like the TV jacker commenting on what you just did, which is a really good source of world building.
which saved that city from communist aggression. Hope is on the way, Empire City.
That's also a commentary on the media too, because they often change the story to leave Cole out, you know, trying to hide the fact that there's a superpowered individual in the quarantine where a deadly virus is going around. And yes, you can probably make a lot of parallels to stuff that happened in 2020, but believe me, the situation in this game is far worse. Like, I feel like a lot of stuff that happened with the pandemic could have been avoided if people had read their comic books and played their video games, and InFamous is a good example of that. Let's try not to not have a situation like that, you know, get worse. Oh wait, I gotta go back here, don't I? That is where the next mission is gonna take place, but I gotta go activate it over here. People are still shooting at me.
Stampton Bridge. The fastest way out of town. That is, if you can get us past those baton-wielding goons.
I'm not gonna enjoy this.
One way or another. Follow my lead.
Before I go any further, we here at Bladeslinger Plays do not condone violence against the police, but we also do not condone police brutality. I take that what's about to happen is not any fun.
You have entered a restricted area. Lethal force.
Gonna have to get past those riot cops if we want out of here. If I fry a couple of the guards from inside the crowd, but I can trigger a riot. Help keep the heat off Zeke and me. Of course, that means a lot of innocent people will get the hell kicked out of them.
Okay, so this is where I want to talk about the karmatic system here. And I'm just gonna say it, the system in this game sucks. And the reason for it is just how black and white it is, but also how foolish a lot of the choices are. So what's happening here is we have people, they want out of the quarantine, but there's a wall of cops here. People want out, so it's essentially protesting how they're being treated. But what the game is essentially asking me to do is incite a riot. So I can either fire off juice from inside the crowd and, you know, supposedly take the heat off of Zeke and Cole, or I can go to the front of the crowd and directly attack the police, which I don't want to do either, because not only am I going to pick a fight with the police, but I'm also going to, again, trigger a riot. And if you know how this situation ends, you'll know that neither side is really, you know, morally outstanding. So then that's the problem with just about every choice you have to make in the game. It's usually very black and white, or really doesn't matter to begin with. Either way, you're doing something bad. But like, this is just the worst one in my opinion. So how would you fix something like this? Very, very, very simple. You need to have more than 2 options. So what option I would put in here is just the ability to walk away. Like, you see this situation, you realize there's no way you can get through there without innocent people getting hurt, so you just leave. But the game doesn't give you the choice to do it, and I am unfortunately going to be forced to lead these people to their death. But I'm also not a coward, so I hate to do this, guys, but yeah, good action. Okay, try not to kill any of these guys. Okay, I don't think I took any of them out, per se. But see, now these people are coming to my side.
Eat some hot lead.
Now they're shooting at me.
Those barricades make good cover.
So yeah, you can take cover like you would in a shooter, but in different ways. So I can clean to the top right here. And that'll make me a harder target. Also allow me to get around this machine gun emplacement too.
Machine guns. Flank 'em if you have to.
Ah, I really hope I... Okay, good, I didn't kill that guy. Yeah, if you can get the guys in the head, you'll take them down, so a little bit of precision is recommended. Cole can't take a lot of damage though, so I don't want to go straight at those machine gun emplacements. And this is really the beauty of the gameplay in InFamous. It is all about the range combat. Like, I remember when InFamous came out, a lot of people said the game was needlessly hard. But then InFamous 2 came out and they added greater focus on melee combat because people who played the first game were asking for that. It's there when I realized that the reason people said InFamous was so hard was because, well, they were trying to melee everyone when you're supposed to play the game like this. See if I can find a place to recharge. Doesn't look like it. Could go right there, but I have a feeling. It's not nice to shoot at civilians. Okay, doing good so far. What?
This area is under strict quarantine. Indiscriminate lethal force will be used against all unauthorized personnel. This is your final warning.
Oh. So yeah, you see what I'm doing here? I'm fighting smart. Hey, dude, watch it. And if you're charged your batteries like that, it'll heal you too, which is really handy. You shouldn't really have an issue with running out of power to use your attacks. But you do want to keep your health up.
The gate opened to a wall of razor wire.
What I said, it led people to their death.
Zeke made
This
a
is
break
definitely a part of the game that's not aging well.
detonation unit and fell headlong into the harbor. And I moved faster than I knew I could. I was greeted by name.
Remember during the pandemic when people were complaining about the mask
Seeing footage of
mandate?
me at Ground Zero.
Doesn't sound so bad now, does it?
I'd try to escape, knowing I'd have powers. She explained that before the blast, her husband John had been assigned to infiltrate the First Sons, a shadowy group working on a project they called the Ray Sphere.
It's always a shadowy organization, isn't there?
Electric energy from a group of people and concentrate it into an individual. She'd lost contact with John the night of the blast. Despite all her connections, Moya was losing hope. Yet she'd found me, somehow believing I could be trusted, ready to make me an offer. I go back to the city.
Man, the
find
artwork
John
here is
and the
gorgeous.
Ray Sphere, and she'll get me out of the quarantine and clear my name. This whole Ray Sphere thing sounds crazy to me. Suddenly I'm a human light socket, so maybe I should cut her some slack.
Always expect the unexpected, Cole.
Because of the riot topside, this is the only way back into the city. Given the state of our new partnership, I've taken the liberty of cloning your phone's frequency. I've got a lock on your GPS locator, and I can hear every word you say.
That's super.
So something I wanted to point out, and this is another big part of good open world design in my opinion. So InFamous is predominantly an open world game, but part of the reason it's one of the better ones, I would say, is because, you know, they've actually designed a lot of the open world with intention. So parts like the section I just went through and this right here, it's designed with gameplay in mind. With a lot of open world games, especially modern ones, they just focus on making this big open world for you to explore, but then it comes time for gameplay and then it just feels haphazard, and that's because they put all their focus on making it as big as possible while not paying attention to the density, the little details of it. InFamous at the time was not pushing any boundaries in regards to world size, but that wasn't the point. It was all about the combat, and the design of the open world is in service of that. It's a testament to how important that kind of thing is where you're making an open world game. So anyway, we gotta get back to the city. There's a lot of work that needs to be done. Now, if this was me, I wouldn't need a deal to go and help people. Like, I would just want to go and be a superhero, go help people. But, you know, they have to have, you know, Cole have a reason to do it, story-wise, because the whole idea of the game is he's supposed to be morally ambiguous, you know, to accommodate the karmatic system, because you can choose to play the game as an anti-hero, and you can't really have that if your character should clearly be a good guy. So they are trying to craft some moral ambiguity with the character. Though I find it a little silly, honestly, because the good side of the story is the canonical story too, so it just comes off as a little foolish. Like, this right here is just some really fun platforming too. Now we got some more Degens out there causing trouble. Ooh, propane tanks. I took issue with fighting the cops, but I have no sympathy for these guys. I'm definitely in the Jack Reacher mindset of that. These people had the choice to be good people their entire lives, but they instead chose to be criminals. So, if they open a door and they encounter me, well, I got no sympathy for them. They made that choice, and I'm making a choice to stop them. Blast shards, basically an in-game collectible you get. You collect these, and after a certain point, your energy meter will increase. I guess the sprayers, I don't know what they are. Those can actually really mess you up if you aren't careful, surprisingly.
Paul, the water pressure has dropped in the main running under the bridge. What's going on down there?
Reapers were busting up some pipes.
Interesting. I'll see what I can find out. You worry about getting back into the city.
You know what? It just occurred to me that I haven't hit recorded on this whole thing again. I'm gonna try something once it's done, see if I can address that issue. Using the environment around you to take out enemies is also a big part of the game. So like if you shoot into the water, you'll electrify it. So if you can knock enemies into the water, you can get them really easily.
You find John and the ray sphere, and I get you out of there. No questions asked. But you double cross me or do something stupid, and I will throw you into a hole so deep that you won't even know which way is up. Got it?
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, good luck with that, lady. Then again, I don't think Cole is so powerful that he can just ignore the government. Pretty sure he won't survive the full-scale wrath of the United States military.
Cole?
He's not bulletproof after all.
Good to see you.
Yeah, of all the people who survived, Zeke did somehow.
Yeah, nice work on that gate, Wrecking Ball.
Well, live through the fall, no problem. But, getting back to shore? Well, let's just say I'm no Michael Phelps.
Yeah, that's an understatement.
Hey, take it easy, Lightning Rod. So, how the hell'd you live through that, man? Bullets flying everywhere, all over the place? Figured you were a goner.
Let's head home. I'll fill you in on the way.
Any man can handle adversity. If you truly want to test a man's character, give him power. Abraham Lincoln. I agree.
Oh, I knew it! All the stuff I've been saying, every word is true. Government's in cahoots with a secret organization, the Ray Sphere. Damn, it all makes sense now.
Calm down. You're gonna hurt yourself.
That Ray Sphere must dish out powers to anyone controlling it. You gotta bring it back here.
Sure. I could use a sidekick.
Ah, hell with that. Zeke Jedediah Dunbar is his own man.
Your middle name is Jedediah?
Yes, it is. My grandfather. Strong man for a man his size. I don't know where Zeke comes from, but I'm certain...
You need to take a nap and a bath. I got things to do.
I wonder where my parents got Austin from. Alright, so where to?
I've already got a couple of leads for you. The coordinates have been uploaded into your phone. Give me a call when you're in position.
Okay, so now we got XP points. So over the course of the game, you'll gain new powers and you can upgrade them 3 times. It doesn't affect the gameplay tremendously, but it is worth noting, I guess. Okay, I got 3 missions here. There's one specifically I want to play. Let's see. I think it's this one. We're coming up on the end of the stream, so I'll do this mission and then we're going to call it for the night. Go over here and get this blast shard, though. I'm definitely falling back into my old habits when playing this. No, not that one. Oh, you degens better not be shooting people. Teach you. Didn't mean to kill that guy, but oh well. Teach you. Where are you at? Shouldn't hurt people. Degens. Here we go.
Okay, Moya. What now?
One of my contacts, an electrician named Brandon Carey, didn't check in last night. He's pretty important, so you need to find him. He was last seen in the alley across the street from your location.
So, over here.
Your boy isn't here, Moya. Just a dead woman.
A woman? Well, that doesn't make any sense.
Hang on a second.
Reapers! No! Leave my husband alone! Where are you taking him? Brandon!
Whoa.
What just happened?
I had a vision. The Reapers kidnapped Brandon. This is his wife, Lene. I can see the echo of someone running away.
Follow it. We need to find out what happened.
That's a really creative use of his powers, too. Reading the residuals of the person's brain patterns. Because a lot of people don't realize your brain is basically just a combination of electrical impulses up there. It's actually just an organic battery. So,
damn.
And of course, what would a superhero game be without other superhumans to fight? Darn hamster. Yeah, later on in the game, you do get the ability to either do an arc restraint, which basically just locks them to the floor, or a bio leech, where you can drain their life force to refill your health bar at the cost of killing them, which is really dark. Obviously, I don't do the bio leech very often, but I did use arc restraint a lot because that's considered a good action. You know, capture the bad guys so they can serve justice, be served justice by the police. So like I said, you can use the environment to your advantage. Using the shockwave to fling cars into these guys. That's one of my favorite tactics. These guys are starting to get the better of me though. I need to get to cover. Yeah, and unlike a lot of games, it doesn't give you penalties for getting off the beaten path. So I'll get up here. I'll attack him from above. Unfortunately, someone got in my way. A lot of collateral damage, though. I tell you what, the people in this game are brave. Not many people would tell off the guy who could barbecue them with a wave of his hand.
Pick up your damn phone!
What's up?
The feds, man. That's what's up. Watching our every move. Even caught one scoping out the roof. Was leaning against the wall down there, eating a fresh apple. Hey, you tell me, where the hell did he get that?
I don't know, Zeke. But if we want to be out of here, this is the way it's gotta be.
Come on, man, don't be stupid. They'll ride you as long as they can. But the second you're no longer useful, bam! You vanish. Permanently.
I think all that conspiracy stuff has rotted your brain.
Hey, don't kill the messenger, brother. I'm just telling it like it is. You watch your back.
Yeah, say what you will about Zeke, but that actually is a good observation. Where is someone going to find fresh fruit in a place like this? Like, the combat in InFamous is just so good. So explosive. Yeah, see, you can use the shockwave to send certain attacks back at your enemies. Right, where the hell did you guys come from? Not cool. In the air, no takedown. You get rated on how you fight bad guys, too. In the air, no takedown is basically you take them out with an explosion. Yeah, suicide bomber's great.
What the hell happened? The entire neon just went dark.
That's because one of those maniacs blew up a whole substation. Man, brain feels like it's in a vice.
Your body must be reacting to the absence of electricity. You're gonna have to man up and find Carrie. If we don't restore the power, the Reapers will be unstoppable.
That's right. Getting ahead of myself. Get Ninja Turtles up in here hidden in the sewers. And this just looks really spectacular.
Go to the sewers.
Look at those lighting effects, dude.
Carrie's help in shutting down the underground linear transformer. Find the transformer and figure out a way to get it back online. If they killed the circuit, you'll have to reestablish it.
Yeah, that's just absolutely gorgeous. Like, the graphics in InFamous are a little dated, and if you look at them up close, they can look a little nasty. But sections like this, just the overall design of the world and everything, it's a really strong looking game. It was a showpiece for what the PS3 could do back in the day. And every time you turn the power back on, you get a new power. See, there's the Arcus Drain and Bio Leech I was telling you guys about. And I can heal people now. Great. This may sting.
Thank you. Hey, Janet, you back there? Open the gate. This guy's okay. You've got to stop the Reapers. They're running around with some electrician, killing anyone they find down here.
The transformer's back on. Now what?
Restart the distribution substation by charging up the voltage regulator mounted to its front. That should be enough to get the power back on.
Alright, gotta help these people.
Thank goodness.
Not sure that zapping people with a bunch of electricity is good for their health, but hey, If it works, it works. Cole's powers aren't natural to begin with. Aw, man, you're gonna make me do Bioleech. Well, I guess you guys are probably curious what it looks like, so... It's a little messed up. I don't like doing it. Like, you're basically taking away that spark of life. I mean, if you look at that from a philosophical standpoint, you could interpret it as, you know, consuming someone's soul. And it's messed up. Really fun segments of platforming, too, I'd say.
Yeah.
You can definitely tell this was made by the people who did Sly Cooper.
She thinks I killed her sister.
That ain't your fault. The package was a bomb. You know, you're lucky to be alive. She needs to see things for what they are.
Yeah, well, I'm not holding my breath. I'll catch you later.
Oh, crap. Yeah, sometimes the system isn't quite perfect. Ah, crap. Case in point. By the way, you shouldn't swim during a lightning storm. That's why. They'll pick up the garbage later.
Nah, I got into urban exploration about 4 years ago. Crawled all over this city, so I know these sewers like the back of my hand.
Also explain why Cole is so athletically gifted even before he got his powers. That's what I've always loved in superhero origin stories, like having, you know, regular abilities right out of the box, but then adding superpowers on top of that. I'd rather have that than something like, you know, man, I can't think of any good examples. There are a lot of characters I can think of who get their powers, but weren't anything impressive beforehand, like Spider-Man and Static.
What are you doing here? Did they see you?
I need to turn on the substation.
Are you out of your damn mind? The Reapers will kill my wife. No one is getting in here.
Open the door.
Screw you! I've jammed this thing up tight. No one is getting in or out until she's safe.
Poor guy. Still thinks he's protecting Lene. Doesn't change the fact that I need to get in there. I can either fry him and open the door that way, or tell him that his wife is dead. See if that gets him to back off.
See, this is another good example of the Carmack system just kind of sucking, because it's not really a moral choice. It's just basically asking, are you just a horrible, horrible individual who would kill a man who's just trying to protect his wife, not knowing that she's dead? Or are you just going to come clean with a guy and let him know that he's inadvertently helping the bad guys? Of course I'm going to tell him his wife is dead.
How do you know her name?
I know this is hard. I saw her body. There was nothing anyone could do.
I knew I shouldn't have trusted her. I'm so sorry, Lene. Listen to me. I've seen what you can do. You have to kill them. All of them. Promise me.
I'll do what I can.
Justice will be served. Now I got the power up and running. That's how you get new powers. Every time you turn on the power in the city, Cole's powers evolved. Which is good design because those sewer sections usually give you time to get up to speed on how to use your new power. And that's going to do it for the stream tonight. So my full thoughts on InFamous. I love this game so much. Being a superhero is one of my general fantasies in a video game. I've just always wanted to do good. So, there was a time where I was trying to be a firefighter before I found my current job, and I was a lifeguard for the longest time. So just being able to go out with superpowers, fight the good fight, save people, that just appeals to me on so many levels. And it's done so well in InFamous. Everything from the combat, the story, the world around you, it's just all so well done. And it just boggles the mind that Sony has such a great game that they could remaster and re-release on PS5, but instead they're choosing to remaster something like The Last of Us Part 2, a game not a lot of people like to begin with, and it's not even 5 years old yet, dude. And you can play it on PS5 right now if you wanted to. Backwards compatible, guys, come on. But yeah, InFamous is fantastic. If you never had a chance to play this game and you still have your PS3, pick yourself up a copy. They're pretty cheap, very common, and you'll have a great time. Just be sure you play it the way you're supposed to. Don't be an idiot who tries to melee everyone. But anyway, that's going to do it for me, guys. If you enjoyed tonight's content, please be sure to like and subscribe. I do these videos every week at 8 o'clock. As I said, I just play games for an hour or so rather than start to finish because I want to encourage you guys to play the games yourself because I feel like you're missing something if you aren't. So outside of that, I hope you guys have a good night and take care. One of these days I will get myself a stream deck.